everybody, it's Miss Lawrence. This is a video for your Algebra 1 class. Tonight your homework was to watch this video and to fill in the guided notes that you were given today in class. Tonight we're going to talk about uniform motion, and more specifically we're going to talk about average speed. I want to remind you that you can always go to my webpage to get any handouts from class, to watch videos, and to find other helpful links that will help you throughout the year with our class. Before we begin, I want us to recall what we already know about distance, time, and speed. In your physics classes, you've been talking about this relationship quite a bit. The relationship between distance, time, and speed is that speed is equal to distance divided by time. To find average speed, we now have to divide the total distance by the total time. Let's try a problem. If you recall from my classes, we always want to use our problem-solving skills and our steps. And the first step is always to read the problem. After we read the problem, we want to pull out all the important information that we might need from that problem. We then want to try to make sense of that important information and what we need to do with it, either by writing an equation, making a table, drawing a diagram, whatever strategy we choose. We then want to use our strategy to solve the problem, and then after we solve the problem, we want to make sure that our answer makes sense. We run a distance of 210 meters at a speed of 7 meters per second. You then jog a distance of 800 meters in a time of 235 seconds. Finally, you run for 25 seconds at a speed of 6 meters per second. What was the average speed of your total run? Okay. I've tried to color code the different parts of the problem and the different parts of the chart we want to use to organize our information. The first part of this problem says that we run a distance of 210 meters at a speed of 7 meters per second. So they're telling us distance, and they use the label meters, so we know that 210 meters is a distance. They tell us speed and meters per second, so 7 is our speed, 7 meters per second. The next part of the problem says that we jog a distance of 800 meters in a time of 235 seconds. Meters, distance, 800 goes in the distance column. 235 seconds, 235 goes in the time column. Kids get very confused with this part sometimes. Because of the S, they instantly think that it should be speed. But this S represents seconds, which is a time. If this was a speed, it would be labeled with meters per second. Because it's just labeled with seconds, it goes in the time column. The next part says we run for 25 seconds at a speed of 6 meters per second. 25 seconds is a time, so it goes in the time column. Speed of 6 meters per second. Speed, meters per second, this goes in the speed column, 6 meters per second. So we've taken all of the information that they gave us and we've filled it into our chart, but we have some missing pieces. So now we need to figure out how to fill in those missing pieces. In this first part of our run, time is missing. In the second part of our run where we were jogging, speed is missing. And in the last part of our run, distance is missing. To find these different quantities, we need to manipulate our equation. For this first part where we're trying to find the time, we need to plug in all of our values that we have and solve for the one that's missing. Plug in 210 for distance, plug in 7 for speed, and we'll find that T is equal to 300. 300 seconds. In the next part of our problem, the jog part, we were missing the speed. To find speed, we need to divide the distance by the time. Our distance was 800. Our seconds were 235, or our time. 800 meters divided by 235 seconds. Plug in 800 for D, 235 for T. S is 3.4 meters per second. The last part of our problem, the run, we needed to find the distance. We plug in 25 for T, and we plug in 6 for S. 25 for T, 6 for S, and when we solve for D, we should get 150. Okay. Now that we've filled in all of our chart, we need to remember that we actually needed to find our average speed. To find average speed, we need a total distance and we need a total time. If you notice here, I've blocked off this lax box here because we do not need a total speed to find average speed. We want to look at each of these things individually, but then we have to take into account the fact that we had a total trip here, a total run, and a total amount of seconds. And we need those two quantities in order to find our average speed. We do not need to add up the speed. And that's a common error that students make. Because we're finding totals here and here, they just naturally want to find a total here, but we don't need that one. Our total for distance is 1,160 meters. Our total for seconds is 560 seconds. Okay, and again, we don't need a total for speed. We need to take the total distance and the total time and divide them. When we take the total distance and we take the total time and we divide them, we get 2.1 meters per second. And again, the label is meters per second because we are looking for a speed. Tomorrow when you come to class, you'll need to have your notes filled out as you followed along with this video. You're also going to be trying this problem, which also asks for average speed. We'll be working on the problem together, in pairs or in groups. I'll see you tomorrow. I hope you have your homework done and I hope you have a nice night. Good night.